You're sitting in a room full of people who love you. The music is right, the light is warm, someone is laughing at something you said, and somewhere underneath all of it, quiet, almost invisible, there is a hollow feeling you cannot explain. You don't say anything, because what would you even say? That you feel empty in a moment that looks full? That something is missing and you don't know what it is? You smile a little wider instead. You stay a little longer. You tell yourself, this is just a mood, it will pass. But it doesn't pass. It follows you home. It sits with you in the silence after the door closes. And in that silence, a thought surfaces, one you've had before but never said out loud. What is wrong with me? You look at your life like someone reading a list. The people, the moments, the things you've built, it all adds up. It all looks right. And yet, the feeling stays, patient, hollow, like a sound you can't quite locate. You've tried explaining it, maybe to yourself, maybe to someone close, and when the words wouldn't come, you decided the simplest explanation must be true, that you are too sensitive, too ungrateful, too broken to feel what you're supposed to feel. You're not broken, but something is happening, and it has been happening quietly for longer than you realize. This feeling, this specific, hollow, inexplicable emptiness inside a life that looks fine, is one of the most common unspoken experiences of the human mind. You are not the only person sitting in a full life feeling somehow starved. Psychologists call it emotional incongruence, the gap between what your face is doing and what your nervous system is actually feeling. You perform the emotion the moment requires, but underneath the performance, the signal is flat, and the longer you perform without feeling, the wider that gap becomes. There's a network in your brain called the default mode network. Neuroscientist Marcus Reichel spent years mapping it. He found that this network, the one that activates when you go quiet, when you stop performing, when the world finally stills, is where you build your sense of self. It's where meaning gets made. When that network gets crowded out by constant motion, obligation, noise, it doesn't just go quiet, it sends a signal. One specific, recognizable signal. Flatness, the sense that you are watching your life from slightly outside it, that you are present but not quite there. Your body knows before your mind does. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio called this the somatic marker, the body's way of flagging that something is off before you have the words for it. A heaviness in the chest, a weightlessness that doesn't feel like lightness. That feeling isn't dramatic. It's precise. Your body is telling you something your thoughts haven't caught up to yet. And what it's telling you is this: the life you are living and the life your nervous system actually needs, they are not the same thing right now. This didn't happen suddenly. It was built slowly, in the background, while you were busy showing up. At some point, maybe early, maybe not so early, you learned what it meant to be acceptable. You learned which parts of you were welcome in the room and which parts needed to stay quiet, not because someone told you directly, but because you were always sensitive enough to feel the temperature of a room, and you adjusted. You got very good at it, adjusting, reading, producing the version of yourself the moment needed. And somewhere in all that adjusting, the unfiltered version of you, the one that wanted things, feared things, needed things, got a little quieter every time. Psychoanalyst Donald Winnicott called this the false self, not fake, functional, a self built to navigate, to smooth, to survive. But the false self does not know how to feel deeply. It knows how to manage, and when it runs your days, when it answers your emails and laughs at dinner and says, "I'm fine," the real core of you sits underneath, unchosen, unheard. That unchosen feeling is the emptiness. It is not absence of emotion. It is the presence of a self that has been set aside for so long it has gone quiet. And the shame spiral makes it worse. You feel empty. Then you feel ashamed of feeling empty. Then you argue with yourself. You have so much. You should be grateful. And the distance grows. The signal gets harder to read. But your body keeps sending it, because the body does not lie. It just waits. Here is what this emptiness actually is. It is not evidence of damage. It is evidence of precision. Your inner life is specific. It knows the difference between a moment that looks meaningful and a moment that actually feels that way. Most people cannot feel that difference. They move through life, and the motion is enough. But for a mind like yours, built for depth, calibrated for real, motion without meaning registers as absence. The emptiness is your nervous system being honest. It is telling you that something in the life you are living does not match the life you are capable of feeling. That is not a flaw, that is a signal, a very precise, very patient signal. The question was never what is wrong with you. The question is what your inner life has been quietly trying to tell you all along. You felt the gap. You always felt it. Most people never even notice it exists. That noticing, that sensitivity, that refusal to be fooled by a life that looks fine when it doesn't feel that way, that is not your weakness. That is the most honest thing about you.